Are we live?
Yes, Neha, you can start your introduction, please.
Yes. Good evening, and what a lovely evening today. We are back for the Industry E-Meet session, the 19th session today. And today we have architect Ashok Bhairi, who's an architect and an urban designer with us. Uh, a little before we start, let me just introduce what is DQ Labs all about. At DQ Labs, we are the Design Quotient Labs, and we deeply believe that design has the power to make lives of millions of people simple, beautiful, efficient, and extremely memorable. With this belief, our founders, Sean Lisa and Umesh Kumar, both of them who are alumni industrial design at IIT Delhi, have joined a collective design industry experience of around 40 man years, have embarked on a journey to create design superheroes. In the last 13 years, they have mentored more than 12,000 plus students in their creative careers. They are trying to achieve it by giving awareness, exposure, counseling, training, and mentoring design aspirants not only to get into the top architecture, design, and fashion schools all across the world, but also going beyond to help them settle in their professional careers. Many aspiring design students and their parents are unaware of the creative professions and hence have many questions. To bridge this gap, each week we at DQ Labs invite creative professionals in the field of architecture, fashion, and design. The invited creative professionals explain about one of their ongoing projects, the challenges that they've gone through while executing their design projects, and the design process that they've adopted, and many more interesting aspects of their profession. They will also talk about their story of becoming who they are now. Today, as we are elated to have with us architect Ashok Bhairi, who is an architect and an urban designer. He is also a sportsman at the same time. Ashok Bhairi heads the 96 Design Group, Hyderabad. He will reveal the secrets of art and architecture of living, and he will be showcasing the award-winning Annapurna Film Studio of Hyderabad, owned by the Akineni family. More specifically, I would say, so that you all must be aware of it, is Nagarjuna's the actor Nagarjuna's family. Uh, Architect Ashok Bhairi has an 18 years of experience in master planning, architecture, and urban design projects across India. He is also involved in project formulation and design, business development, coordination, execution, and teaching. He has completed his master's in architecture, urban design from CEPT Ahmadabad in the year 2003 and 5, and Bachelors of Architecture from AUCE Visakhapatnam from 1996 till 2001. 96 Design Group was established in the year 2013 by architect Ashok Bhairi with the objective of providing design solutions for space planning in architecture and urban design fields. Since its inception, 96 Design Group has designed many prestigious projects in Hyderabad, Visakhapatnam, Tirupati, Kurnool, Kakinada, Kodattur, Behrampur, Aurangabad, Amritsar, and the list goes on. The typology and scale of the projects consists from educational institutions, hospitals, film studios, farmhouses, master planning, villas, entertainment parks, townships, high-rise towers, riverfront developments, smart city projects, etc. Architect Ashok Bhairi is also involved in teaching at various colleges of architecture across India, where he undertakes the urban design classes, actively participates in attending juries and workshops for undergraduate students. He is also an active member of the Urban Designers Association of India, Hyderabad chapter. As I mentioned, he is a very active sports person, particularly in sports like swimming, table tennis, and has participated in various competitions and has won many accolades and won a lot of medals. He's won international and state level medals in masters and swimming competitions. He is also an open water swimmer and has swam across 1.5 kilometers River Krishna in February 2020 and did a 1 kilometer sea swimming in Colombo, Sri Lanka in 2016. Always a student attitude makes him eager to zeal for new learnings. He's recently started learning the keyboard at Chords Music Academy and performed stage performances in music events. His list of awards and scholarships is also worth mentioning. He's also won the TV5 Architecture and Interiors Awards for 2019 in the Institution Design category. He has also won the Best Young Academician of the Year from the Nehru School of Architecture in 2017. Um, while he was studying, he received an AICT scholarship at CEPT Ahmadabad for the year 2004-5. And he's finished his internship with Architecture and Design 25 for Architecture and Development, European Union at Paris. So what are we waiting for? Let's go on board with architect Ashok Bhairi. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Neha.
Pleasure, sir. Pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Let you take on and start your presentation. Our viewers are waiting for you to start. Yes, sir.
So my screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good evening, everyone. And I thank DQ Labs and architect Umesh for welcoming me to address today's e-meet. When Umesh called me up to talk about architecture practice where I based in Hyderabad, and also he knows me well, so I was actively participant in other activities apart from architecture. So he told me to share my journey in architecture and other fields. Then I was thinking of what to name the presentation so that it is apt for uh, the activities and the profession where I'm in right now. So then I thought, okay, the art of living should be a good title to start with. And of course, being an architect, I should be talking about architecture. So hence I thought, so this will be apt title for the presentation for today evening. This and also I would like to thank my late father, my friends, my staff, my family, also for giving me strength to do these kind of activities in my life. So okay, let us start. So okay, the art of living. I think I'm not going to be like a Baba preaching what to do, what not to do in life, but I would be telling what is happening, what I have done so far in architecture and art of living. So that will I will be talking about those aspects. The art, architecture, and living, all three aspects are completely different from one on another. Particularly, architecture has a scale to it. Living is momentary, like you live in present, and art is universal. It is subjective. It annotates to every part of the living being, where we see in that perspective for aesthetics, a joy, whatever we call. So clubbing these three aspects, I thought frame it art of architecture, where the art and the scale of the art as an architecture. So I would be talking about the one project we did recently in Hyderabad for Annapurna Studios, that is ANR Sound and Vision Studio. And later part of the presentation will be a kind of art of living, where the other activities which I have been doing with the influence of multiple influences. So I would be talking that. So all through this, that would conclude my presentation after that. And since the listeners or the participants of different groups, like I was told there will be students, parents, and architects, and also I'll try to be less technical and more little informal. Okay, let's start about the project in which we have worked recently. Uh, this is the site context, the project ANR Sound and Visions Studio that we have designed. When I have received call from Annapurna CFO to design a sound and vision block. And this is the context they have given to me. But this is the 7-acre property in which they have 5 studios, and there are certain footprints available within the site. And we call it studio, but they call it as floors. So these are 5 floors, and there are other aspects. So that then the discussion or the discussion with the clients, they have suggested one at Studio 5, where my cursor is right now, and other one is the behind Studio 1, that is floor 1. And these are the two site locations they told me to explore as a component for the project. Then I thought I have given one more idea of the space between the floors. With that I will explain in later slides. So these are the 3 options that I have picked up, and it was in June 2017. And also, as Umesh mentioned, I am sharing the complete journey of the project, the time span, how exciting and how long the project goes, and how the detail changes over a period of time, how the client comes up with the different ideas, and how you accommodate in the projects. So I will try to explain all the details in sequencing order. So we started this exercise in June 2017. Then with after the first meeting, then we took one of the floor, which is a studio floor, Studio 5, and we have converted them into a grid and try to fit the requirements of sound studio, edit studio, and dubbing studio. And rest all spaces we try to give space so that it can be used for other activities. So the scheme 1. Scheme 2 is the portion where I mentioned besides Studio 1, where the footprint was mentioned dubbing studio, edit studio in the lower level, and mix studio in the upper level. So as a concept of the space configuration. And the third one is the road, the bisecting the Studio 1 and Studio 5. I came up with an idea where we can explore the bridge concept, wherein these facilities will be connecting these 2 floors on a height of 6 meter, and we design the facility. And we studied the existing footprints, and we tried to give the requirements of sound edit and dubbing studio in this fashion. And this is that site context where the space between the 2 floors were the 12-meter road available. So we thought we will explore the idea of bridge concept between the two floors. And this is a section that was the plan, and this is a section indicating the floor heights, wherein how to give the scale, the art of architecture. What I mentioned, you have to work with the scale, and how do you manage the client's requirement and accommodating there. And these are the some 3D views that we generate to explain client. The first meeting we had with Mr. Nagarjuna and Mr. Nagchaitanya and the ESPL team, we had presented these slides along with these 3D views explaining how the facility can be sandwiched between two floors and also get the required requirements accommodated. And these are the various tools we try to explore and to explain the concept. So basically, the sound mix studio required 6-meter floor height, and the other facility required 3 meters. So we had a split level facility so that we could get the terraces for other activities. That is how we have explained the idea of the sandwich part between the two floors. This is the overall site with that bridge concept. So it was a small footprint initially because the clarity in the brief is still evolving. Then July in the same year, then the brief got more crystallized, and they were talking about specific dimensions, just the specific requirements of sound mix studio, edit studio, and voice recording room, and rest of the other facilities that would come up along with this facility. And then we were talking earlier, the sound studio was supposed to be catering to the particular local market. Then now we were talking about Dolby Atmos certification. So they had a specific technical requirement and size to the facility. So now the brief from the client got more crystallized, and we are targeting an national and international level facility that needs to be designed to cater the all the facilities or to cater the all kind of post production films. With these requirements, the bridge concept has been further expanded, and initially the footprint was small. Now with the Atmos requirement, the bridge concept has been extended so that to suit the requirement for the sound mix studio, and other facilities like edit suite and dubbing rooms were extended for the bridge concept, which they were very excited when we have coined the bridge idea, because as a client they are not losing any land space, and they are getting the good facility, and it is exciting as well. This is a little blow up of the same, where we have this connecting corridor from the other two sides floors get connected to the bridge at the 6-meter level. Then it connects to the edit suite, voice recording, and airlock room, and the sound studio on that. And there's a balcony on the edge, so that there's a relieving space. On the other hand, they would want to have the VIP gallery or the tri cave. And the idea of the bridge again explained in the section. Now we have refined the idea of the glass and the color tone, where it suits the client's requirement. And this is the various softwares we try, SketchUp, Lumen, and all, to explain the design and the 2-dimensional into 3-dimensional. So this is from the view from the entry side of the road, where you have the balcony from the dry cave. And this is the overall site view. The bridge concept has been extended till the end of the floors so that the 6 meter sound mix studio would accommodate at the end of the site, end of this floor site, and other activities would follow. And this is another view. This is another view. So the terrace generally the film the shooting or the post production or pre production, there is a lot of celebrities would be there. So and this gave us a space where one can explore the uh, informal activities for them and specific private kind of parties get that can help. So this is the space that we have designed for them in during the process. In order to explain how do we build the idea of the bridge concept or the sandwich block between the floors, we earlier we have done one project for Omega Hospitals, extension of the building with PEB structure. PEB means the pre-engineered building structures. So we have explained the client how we can deal this particular design idea, how you can demonstrate on the site. Then we had to educate the clients how one can be doing this kind of work. So there's some technical drawings and some snapshots of the previous project where we worked. So the PEB structures, PEB structure we call pre-engineered building. The columns and the beams are factory made and got to the site, and they installed quickly over the existing structure. It saves a lot of time, and it will be very quick project to come up with. So these are the some of the snapshot we showed him. We showed them. So the text lab, the PB columns and beams, um, and the interiors, the fire requirement or the interiors requirement that can the services part that can accommodate within the structure. So all those things can be worked out easily is what we have explained to the client. So July 2007 till January 2018. So that much of period, 5 6 months, there was a, a mute zone where the client refined their brief and they came up with a different idea of having two DI suites, which are called digital intervention studios. Then, with the enhancement in the brief and the client requirement, the concept of bridge, we could not accommodate these modified requirement. Then, subsequently, based on these things, we had to go to the first option where, besides the studio one, so the land where which is available. So we had to design something with these facilities, with the requirement. Hence, this is the plan we came up in that particular site where revised client requirements have to be accommodated. So here is the sound mix studio, which has got 55 meters by 55 feet by 35 feet, and other two digital intervention studios, along with the meeting room, the confirmation room, data room, the mastering rooms, and the common services, and HOD room in the upper level. So premix studio. So all those requirements were designed in this manner. Now here the art and architecture again. The architecture we dealt with space configuration and the kind of dimensions to each, because these are very technically very important, and technically it should be sound so that the certification from the Dolby Atmos is very important, as well as the production facility that has to be done as a post production. The space and the ambience for the celebrities or the directors has to be very, very interesting so that it would give the best output in the production of the film. So hence, we have designed a space configuration like this. And in the upper level, we have the HOD room, client lounge, and pre-mix studio. Since the two DI studios and mix studio, they require 6-meter height. The intermediate space between these studios accommodated the ground level activities and first floor level activities. Interestingly, if you notice, this is the terrace floor plan, and the bottom right hand side you would notice pergola here, and in the first floor and ground floor, the bottom right hand side is actually is a cut in the plan. The being being very Vastu conscious place we are living, and without Vastu, nothing moves in this particular region. Wherein one of our professors used to tell Hyderabad is the epicenter of Vastu. So then we had a challenge of some underground facility here, some septic tank which is already existing there. So that cannot be moved because it's an existing site. We need to acknowledge and design accordingly. So how do we deal with the northeast cut, which Vastu straight away denies it. So we told them instead of the lower level accommodating something, we will accommodate the pergola kind of structure where it completes the footprint as a rectangular block, and as such we can get a designer element at the bottom right hand, which is northeast corner side. So that is how the process in which a designer takes advantage of the existing site condition, also the constraints from the client constraints or the facility from the Vastu. So all those things would be part of the design process. And if you notice the complete the sound studio or DA studio are acoustically very sensitive, and particularly sound mix studio. DA studios are related to vision, so hence the acoustic treatment is much minimal than what a sound mix studio would require. And we were expected to get Dolby Atmos certification, wherein the noise criteria should be 20, which means there is no sound transmission from outside to inside, either from the side walls, either from the roof, or from the floor as well. So you need to have very robust system of stopping the any noise waves, either high frequency, low frequency. Those things needs to be addressed all four sides. So hence, very technically challenging space that to be designed. So hence, the space configuration has to be done very well. If you notice the double walls here, so that the sound transmission from the adjacent spaces will be curtailed, and even from the DI studio. So these are various technical scales that needs to be taken care while we have designed these spaces. Now, coming to the elevations, generally the film studios basically, if you notice their structures, they're like simple walls with paint finish, and there is no life. Their life is all inside, which are arts, these sets and music and lights, everything which is inside. So they don't exhibit much of the architecture on the outside of their structures. We too had the similar challenge, because if you notice the floor plan, all these studios, there are no openings at all. So it's all complete solid blank walls, or the given condition, except the entry area where we have these spaces where the meeting and the corridor available. So how do we deal with these kind of context. Then how do we get life into the building where the activity or the expression of the build form expressed, where as a designers we have set up some components like exposed bricks, the landscape, nowadays bio wall or the concrete walls or the stone walls. So these are the various palettes where the expression of the building completely changes from a normal plastered surface brick wall to the life of a building. Hence, the idea was coined to the client, Mr. Chaitanya, and immediately he accepted and agreed and appreciated. Then we have come up with this idea of where we do complete brick, where we can expect kind of somebody can easily relate to the building and the build form, what is there in their facility in a campus. Of course, the glass would be there to give the light ventilation into the spaces. So this is the few technical drawings of elevation, and this is that view where that particular the yellow marked surfaces are available, which are blank walls that needs to be given some life so that a building in a dry campus can be highlighted and given life, and where one can relate and see life within it. So these are the views prepared to explain the client and the exposed bricks and the glass and northeast MS pergola. And there are some of the views in our different softwares we use and explain to the client the process of the explain the concept and idea to the client. And this is the other side where you have these northeast cut at the ground first level, and the terrace level it completes the build form. And the again the solid face of the sound mix studio is again cladded with the brick. And the idea is again needs to be conveyed properly. Then how do you deal with, how do you explain? So then a different methodology that can be adopted to explain the client. Then we got an idea from one of my friend, Mr. Architect Praveen. He, in a different discussion, he explained how that can be explained. Then we picked up the idea, and these are the different color erasers. If you see closely, so these are the erasers put in this kind of format. So to explain the client, the structure or the header or the brick in angular position. So that can be explained to the client so that they would absorb and they would appreciate. So these are the kind of various ideas and methodologies that as a designer to be aware of, be conscious and innovative, these kind of aspects that can be explained to the client to get it approved. With all this, we came, but however, the idea of this we could not execute at the site. But however, the process I am explaining how the architects work comes and goes, and different the end product and the initial designs, a lot of variations and happens. And fortunately or unfortunately, Indian clients are very dynamic. So every day they come up with a design, a different idea, and or because of the budgets, you need to curtail, you need to revise your designs. All those things would go back and forth. So there's a lot of drama in architects' life with these kind of ideas if you float to the clients. So similar thing happened with us with this project as well. So we could not able to execute this idea. Anyway, now finally we came, I think 26 February 2018. So almost after third design change was in January, and within 1 month of rigorous working, almost like 7 to 8 design revisions, we could finally uh, The client is agreed upon the plans and the design, and we had the foundation stone on 26th February. And these are the floors which I explained earlier. See the complete blank walls, the campus of film studios or something like this. Then how do you get some life in a project where it holds very important aspect of sound and vision, and you need to reflect that in your build form and architectural expression, and as an artist as well as an architect. This is Mr. CV Rao, and this is the foundation playing, and this view is from the other side of the zone. Myself here, our structural engineer Mr. Chari, and our MEP consultant Mr. Johnson. Well, the design got frozen. The structural design were accepted, and the PEB structure, PEB structure by Kishore Infra, Mr. Balraj, they were working on the workshop and getting the site ready. Meanwhile, the next phase of design would come for the interiors. Once the architecture and space configuration is frozen and the building starts started, the expression of interiors is the next stage wherein we had to prepare a presentation to the client to explain what kind of interiors you are looking for this particular structure. Now that we know the PEB structure we are going with, so the expression of the complete exterior interior needs to be rustic, natural, elegant, and transparent, and maintenance conducive and innovative. So these are the various aspects we had in mind. So to express the same thing in our interior of the project. The entrance lobby, ground floor meeting room, client rooms, HOD, and open office. These are where our intervention is required, and other rooms, sound mix studio and DI studios were with the acoustic treatment. We had a different interior aspect for those spaces. Now, this is the presentation we made to the client, showing them the kind of finishes that we would like to have. The common areas with the tiles or the natural stone, and the other two studios of DI studio and mix studio with carpet flooring. As per acoustics, we would be requiring these kind of material application, and the kind of buffer from the block work to the space inside. So this is almost like 3 feet, like almost 1 meter acoustic wall treatment was given to the mix studio to accommodate the Dolby Atmos certification. So this is the ground floor. In the first floor as well, the common areas requirement and the client lounge and the double height spaces. Here, I would like to share one interesting aspect. Uh, the the projector and the server room. Initially, it was clubbed in the mixed studios this space configuration, and for the DI studios, there is no space. Hence, the projector rooms were cantilevered within the studios for these two. And subsequent requirement after the design, if you notice previous design and here, and this is that particular space has been created in the later date to accommodate the server areas. So even while we have frozen the plans and got getting the execution done, these are the additional requirements came up in place. So we try to look into the floor plan, what we have designed, and intervene again and redesign the spaces. So that's how you would see a room crafted in between in a later date. These are the views. The double height entrance, the entrance lobby is here, and the first floor you can see the void. So that is the place where it connects both levels, ground and first floor. And we had an opportunity to maintain the external brick wall to the inside and add an element of bio wall in this way. so that the connection between the expression of the building from indoor to outdoor, and the connection can be established through the glass at the main face of the building. And if you notice, as a PEB structure, you would see all the columns and beams exposed like this, which we thought will paint black and leave it as it is without any plastic treatment like false ceiling and all. So this is the meeting room expression. We took idea of the Annapurna logo of triangle and try to design kind of different lights in the meeting room. And we have designed a meeting table taking the clues of Annapurna's the logo and the color of red highlighted. So these are the various interior present drawings and views we have presented to the client. The first floor, the ground floor corridor area, the flooring or the ceiling pattern, the signage, the treatment of the doors and which are acoustically treated, the HOD room in the first floor, the exposed surface of the PEB structure retained as it is with the kind of light fixture designs and the walls and the glass expressions. All those were captured. Here it is much more evident, clearly evident here. So these are the various views presented to the client for their approval. And one of the important aspect is the skylight, which is happening, which is at the over the double height space of the entrance lobby. We had these three options. One is how do we treat the opening of the void above. One is a pitched roof, and one is the flat roof where one can walk across, and other one is one side slope logo with the Annapurna logo. So ultimately, the third one side slope option was picked up by the client, and we have executed that. And I explained the client what are the various other components, CP center fitting, the lighting fixtures, all those were explained to him. And material palette has been presented. The kind of tiles or the stone which are kind of rustic in nature that needs to be picked up, and the bricks, the wire cut red bricks were proposed for the elevation, and the kind of glass or all those things, lights, etc. So all those were presented to the client for the approvals. While this is going on, the structure, the process, the PEB structure started 4th June. And as most of the design fraternity and architects know that PEB structure can come up very quickly, because once the design is structure is frozen, the base structure is prepared in the workshop and get the site and fixed to the foundation. So the construction started very quickly, and from June 4th to 7th August, in a span of 2.5 months, the structure is up with the deck slabs are ready, and the block was also started coming up. And these are the other snapshots. This is the DI studio, the 55 feet by 30 feet space available with 6 meter height. And this snap is from the client launch, where the deck slab is already available, and the cutout at the entrance lobby has been shown. While in process, again, the change in the client's aspect from the red brick to the refractory brick. So that has come up during the talks. So we have gone from wire cut red brick to refractory bricks, which are in different color tones. As we all know, refractory bricks, the base material and the preparation is different from the wire cut red brick. So this gives a different look of robustness and the richness to the structure with its different color, light yellowish, little white, little dark brown. So the client has recommended or liked this aspect of brick, and that's what we have used. Now these are some more pictures during the construction, and this particular the brick surface is the second skin of the blank walls, because the interiors also parallelly started, because the we're at the tight schedule. So and this gives an opportunity to start the interiors, the acoustics treatment interiors to all these rooms, and parallelly we have worked on the secondary skin of the brick wall. And this is again the same status. Northeast has been covered with the pergola like this, and the brick wall here. And by then the flooring also started coming up. These are the interior shots of the DI studio, where the acoustic treatment designs were started execution at the site. These are wood wool boards, basically one of the important material in acoustic treatment. So it absorbs the various frequent sound noises, and it doesn't give a echo or reverberate. So the NRC value is good for this kind of material. Of course, along with this, we will there are multiple layers of treatment, where you have another layer of acoustic material and fabric. So that's how the final product would come. But what you see from the end initially is this is the kind of material application starts. This is the actual structure for the acoustic treatment. The skylight design with the logo is on, and the glass, the glazing has started coming up. The brick walls started finishing up. The flooring and the interior acoustic design have started. If you notice the design of acoustic, since we wanted to express this building very natural, the roof, the ceiling, the underside of the roof ceiling left exposed, and we came up with the idea of sound clouds. These are the clouds within the acoustic design, where it will absorb the specific requirement of NC20, and gives the best sound quality in the mix studio for the post production. So this is a phase where the on-site work was going on, and a few more as we progress, the sequence of the glass wall started coming up, the bio wall, the fabrication has started, the cladding, the glass, the pergola. So, and the interiors are both the interiors and exterior were on pace in parallel. The treatment to the DI studios with sound clouds and the mix studio with sound clouds were started coming up. The lighting design plays important role. The services, the air conditioning, the electrical, the plumbing, all those were parallelly fixing to the structure. And if you talk about services and the structure, that would take a different seminar altogether. So sticking to the architecture interior as of now. So I'm not expanding much on the services part of the structure. And this is a kind of treatment started coming up. The server rooms, the exposed ceiling with the services running underneath it, and the light fixtures that were given here. So all those were accommodated parallelly, and the structure started coming up, interiors and exteriors. The lighting design was also worked parallelly and executed. Then we came to the phase of the inauguration. That was on 2nd December 2018. So from change third revision of brief in January, and the foundation stone by February, and the sorry, and the June was where the structure started coming up, and by the end of December we have finished the complete exterior, the interiors and exterior in a span of around 8 to 9 months. So which was very appreciated by the client, and we had good support from them, timely approvals and all those. So these are the snaps during the inauguration. Mr. Nagarjuna, Mr. Chaitanya, I hope most of us can connect. This is the entrance lobby area with Mr. Chaitanya and Ms. Samantha. This is the entire project team. I will share the details in the subsequent slide. There are, as I said, there's a project in architecture. It's a group work. It is not one man army. It's like a group work. So a lot of consultants, a lot of contractors, a lot of support from various parties and the client. So it's a complete teamwork, and it becomes a family during the project of such magnitude. And this is one more shot along with Mr. Nagarjuna and Chaitanya. Um, this is the interiors snapshot, and Mr. Nagarjuna was so thrilled with the double height space and the logo above. So they were happy with the outcome. And the idea of bio wall and showing the brick wall behind. Most of the time, the bio wall actually covers the entire wall. Here, since we have the exposed brick behind, we have devised a method like where the the gap between these bio wall frames will be more, around 12 inches to 10 inches, so that you can read the brick behind. So multiple layers showing the different elements of the interior to exterior. And this is my staff photograph at the bottom right. And this is the final at the end of the project. These are some snapshots where we have the play of light in the mix studio, play of the light in the DI studio, and the life of the building with exposed brick, glass, and the kind of landscape adds life to the building. And we got the certification from the Dolby Atmos for the sound quality that has the NC value that we have achieved.
Wow, that was a fantastic presentation. In fact,
Yeah.
it would be actually very nice of you to let us know that what it actually means to have a celebrity clientele as a clientele. At times they can be very difficult. Also, at times you've got to go out of your way to accommodate them with their schedules and things of the sort. So please.
Surprisingly, the client was very helpful, and they immediately reacted to our requests and design changes. And their quick decision helped us to do this project, 15,000 SFT, and the technical requirements to be accommodated. It is not an easy task. So within that 8 months of a period, it was a titanic task for everyone. So it was day in and day out at the site.
Okay.
And
But
these are the other snapshots. Yeah, please, Neha.
yeah, it's actually really nice to see. Basically, we've also heard that how the Akhneri family, despite being stars, are extremely grounded. It's actually quite an experience to notice that through your work and your interactions also with them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, we had 2 3 meetings with Mr. Nagarjuna,
Yeah.
and Mr. Nag Chaitanya was every day he was available for the design discussions or the design decision making. So nowadays, most every project is happening in WhatsApp. So we would often text Mr. Chaitanya about the site status and the any inputs from them and the decisions to be taken. So he was always there with the consultant, either with me or with structure engineer or MEP consultant. So it was really a wonderful experience, and they were completely with the project and they walked along with us, unlike any other client. So it was a tremendous and very nice experience with them. Uh, moving, yeah, this is one of the DA studio shot, and this is one more shot. I think most of the Samantha and Chaitanya fans can see these photo in their Instagram. And this is the corridor with their projects flashed here. The project we had completed by December. Then in 2019, this TV5, they have announced about Architecture and Interior Design Awards. So while I was active in social media, I used to share my project pictures in WhatsApp and sharing with friends and taking their feedback and understanding and their ideas and discussion with my fraternity. Unlike many architects, I have more architecture friends than clients. So my strength is my architects fraternity. When these award were announced, I was sharing that to a lot of my friends to share their projects for the award committee. Then surprisingly, one of my friend, Miss Pradeepti, architect Pradeepti, told, "Why don't you submit your project?" And it certainly qualifies to nominate for the project. So then I thought, okay, fine. So we gave it a try, and I never thought it will be such a pleasure that my project selected for the nomination, and ultimately we have got an award under the institutional category. So this is that time in October 2019 we received the award from Honorable Minister Kishan Reddy and Honorable Governor and Hyderabad City Mayor. So this is one snapshot of the project. We received award for this, and this is the most important slide in the entire presentation. And acknowledging the efforts of the other friends, consultants, is my duty. So, special as a client, Mr. Nagarjuna and Mr. Nagachaitanya were pillars to the project, and they were always there to support the design team. And from the ASPL, Mr. C.V. Rao, technical head, Mr. Satyananda, CEO, and Mr. Hasha. Mr. Hasha is the one who's there with us from the start to end, day and night, and he's the one who helped us get through all the difficulties, and he's the interface between the designer, consultants, and the clients. So that's the team, and special thanks to Mr. Umapati, was ex-CFO ASPL. Through Mr. Umapati only, I have got the opportunity to associate with Anapa Film Studios.
So we would actually like to know that, as you mentioned, Mr. Umapati, what basically happened that, that you landed up with this project. We would like to know that story. We would actually like, our viewers would like to know that basically once one becomes an architect and, when you're out there practicing, how do you end up getting such amazing celebrity projects?
Okay, now I think I'll. It's a very interesting story to get this project. So yeah, I think we have time. We can, yeah, since we are talking about process of this project, I will tell you. I came from Srikakulam, North Andhra, and I studied in Vizag and Andhra University, and I did my masters in Ahmedabad, and I came Hyderabad and worked with MNC firms. So I hardly had much of interaction with the client or the developers in Hyderabad. So my world was very, very, very small as an architect. When I started my office, as I said, I had more friends of architects than clients. And with clients or developer whom I know or they know me. Surprisingly, when I started my office, I came through reference and met Mr. Umapati for a different project in 2016. Sorry, 2014. So I have made some design proposal for his own project, and subsequently in 2014 that project got shelved or stopped. And in 2017, Mr. Umapati was trying to reach an architect for this project, and he was to call some different architect Kishore or architect Kishore, somebody Kishore or Kiran, somebody else he was supposed to call, but then he called me by mistake because my number was there. So Mr. Umapati called me. Then I reminded him, sir, we worked in 2014. Then he remembered, okay, Ashok, why don't you come up and we have small work to do. So then I went and met Mr. Umapati in Annapurna Studios in his office. Then he explained me the project, and I had a previous experience of designing multiplex and theater. So he was confident with me that I could deliver a good project for them. So to answer your question, so it was a wrong call that
That's
made
very
me to get
modest
this
of you,
project.
sir. That's very modest of you that you had a great body of work behind you, wherein you already had an experience of working on multiplexes as well, which certainly would have made a lot of difference. And that conviction with which you executed the entire project actually talks about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, moving forward, I'll read out my other consultants and friends. Structure design was Mr. Chari, steadfast consultant. So he was one of the great support to all my projects, even for this project also. Mr. Johnson, MEP consultants, they were the MEP consultants, the air conditioning design, CC cameras, and plumbing, all the other aspects of the MEP fire. These were the two major consultants we worked together for this project, and we are continuing working for other projects as well. One of the important consultant for this project are acoustics from Sound Wizard from Pondicherry, Mr. Govind and Miss Mageshwari. So the both were extremely cordial, and we have coordinated very well with them. And design support from the architecture, design support from the acoustics were well integrated during the execution part of it. The contractor for the acoustics was Mr. Dinesh Cube Acoustics. One important, very major outcome of this project, where we worked with Mr. Balraj, he's the PEB structural designer. He represents Kishore Infrastructure PEB. So this is the project where he became very good friend of mine, and we are working a lot of other projects with him now. For many of the PEB projects, we associates and we are working. And currently, I am working for his villa architecture interior. So this project gave me a lot of friends and a lot of clients as well. Uh, other aspects were lighting were by Mr. Vishal Mehta Lights, Hyderabad. CP sanitary fittings we picked up from Jackward, AC from Blue Star. The glass railing, the glass partition, or the facade glazing by Mr. Sunil, the glass wall. The bio wall by Mr. Chowdhury from Green Revolution. The flooring granites which were picked up from Rockcraft, Mr. Ashwin. The furniture by Mr. Arshad and Mr. Chaitanya. So this is the kind of people worked associated and we have coordinated for this amazing project.
Thank you so
So
much.
this is the journey. This is the journey with Annapurna Studios. Uh, Now I have few more other sections to move. Shall we proceed,
Yes,
or
sir.
shall we
Yes, sir.
take some questions?
We could take some questions, but we could take a few questions as and when they come.
Okay, okay, okay.
We could actually move on to your next presentation.
Okay.
We are moving
Stop.
into this.
Yeah, Umesh mentioned me that journey of a project and what are the other projects that you currently are working on. So
Yes.
there are some slides where currently we are working with. There are some slides of the current projects. I quickly have run. This is one farmhouse we are designing in Aziz Nagar, and this is also very human, very intimate scale of 4 bedroom. And we have again used the brick as one of the expression of the built form. And this is the kind of one is the exposed brick, other one is the filler slab. So these are the two methodologies we have adopted for this farmhouse, and the client was extremely happy, and we also had the opportunity to work on these kind of projects as well. So these techniques were not new, but the appreciation by the current clients are very important, and the acceptance of these kind of ideas are very rare nowadays. So most of the time nowadays the client says either we clad with ACP or we go with glass and all, but the appreciation towards the material and the earthen look and the emotions to the build form by the client and the designers, it's very rare opportunity. So fortunately we had such clients where they have accepted the idea of filler slab or the exposed brickworks. So I put few photographs of filler slab manufacturing, how the filler slab was done here, and exposed brick with zigzag pattern so that it gives some drama in the elevation and the 3D also.
Indeed, indeed. That looks very, very interesting.
Yeah. Next one, very high tech. This is a very intimate scale and very farmhouse. And one project we are working very high tech buildings where we have virtual reality game zone and the entertainment park with sports facility and 100 capacity theater wherein it will have 90 projections. So this is one of the best in across the world. So that is the facility we are designing right now, and these are also structures with PEB. So this is coming up in Hyderabad. Due to the pandemic scenario, the project got stopped, but otherwise it would have been inaugurated in April by Honorable CM. So now it is
Wow. Wow.
it is postponed. So it's coming up very nicely, very high tech structure. This is in around 2 acres campus we have designed. Futsal and the splash course and the virtual reality game zone, sports block for sports bar, etc. This is one commercial complex we designed. Again, the expression of the building mostly it's glass nowadays. Then how do you get other elements integrated with it? So we had an opportunity to work with expose the expression of the wall on the concrete side and the bio wall design. So these are the various ideas we try to design in our structures to get some ideas of architecture in it. And we had an interesting project. We have designed a zoo in Kevadia, Gujarat. So from commercial complex to the film studio to farmhouse to zoo. So very interesting opportunity we got for this particular project. This particular zoo is a kind of a different function to this. Unlike conventional zoo, the all the animals or the particular things are encased, and you walk across. Where in this zoo was particularly where the kids and the adults can interact with the various animals. They're not wild animals. They are friendly, like horses or the cows of different breeds from the different countries, and they were put up in the area side this zone, and one can pay the ticket and they can play with it, interact with it. So that is the kind of space we have designed here, along with an auditorium where the birds, the trainer would tell the bird to go and visit that visitor and come back. So that kind of experienced spaces, along with other activities, we have designed for one of the client who is based in Hyderabad, but the project is in Gujarat, Mr. Verma. So we had a very interesting experience dealing with non-human clients,
Yeah, this is like a one of a
understanding.
kind of a project, you know,
Yeah,
very, very
yeah,
different from what we generally do on regular
yeah, that's
basis.
true. Yeah,
So, well, there's a
and
question from Kritika is
mhm.
she's asking how long does it take to complete one project?
For example, it's a yeah different scale. For example, Annapurna Studios. The discussion started in June 2007 and executed in December. They finished in December 2018. You have 1.5 year span, but in that 1.5 year span, the 6 months were refining the brief and understanding additional. So all those have taken place. So actual project started in January 2018 and finished in December. So that 10 to 11 months took for that particular project. And interestingly, the farmhouse project which I showed you just now, it is happening since 6 years. It is a 5,000 SFT farmhouse for a builder, and it's one of the first projects when I started my independent practice. So it's going on since 2014 till even 2020. Now also there's some work going on. So you never know. It depends on the client. Depends on their deep pockets. It depends on their interest to the project, and depends on the type of project. If it is a commercial project, there will be cost to it to the time. So it makes a quick project. Some residential, which where there is no uh, pressure from the market. So it takes long as 5 6 years, which I mentioned about. So it varies from project to project. But in typically we have with all positive attitude, we say and a moderate project take 1 year, and a little higher scale project take 2 years. So it depends on the scale basically.
Just wanted to ask actually that there's this one question that I have received on WhatsApp, and
Mhm.
it's like, you know, how what's basically your opinion in the way our cities are getting shaped? You know, a lot of inclination towards out of context Western style architecture, abandoning the present Indian context and moving on to or aping whatever they see in the West.
Uh, this question is being asked to everyone, and even I'm since 20 30 years, everyone is facing this kind of question, and still we are building our structures or mimicking the Western culture and the other. So it's all boils down to the client aspirations. As a designer, you have a you can influence the client. At the same time, the aspiration of the client and his vision is more is paramount to a designer. Otherwise you will lose job. So one of my friend during one project discussion, so he was telling me, I was not it was not a pessimistic, but it was optimistic only. if you're not designing a glass building and somebody else will design a glass building, so you will lose the job. So ultimately it is again, and the how you work on, how do you influence the client. For example, one project earlier I showed a lot of glass into it, but the way the expression of the walls, or the one of the wall with the bio wall expression integrated, the concrete, the exposed integrated. So that is where your designer comes out and feels related to our kind of different context, where you can exhibit that kind of design ideology as a designer.
Yes. The third question that has basically come in is, who is your favorite architect? Like, where do you, you know, take your cues from? As in, right from your learning years or something, where, which has basically helped you in shaping up, uh, or, coming up to this level where you are, where from still, when you lost, where do you like really fall back to? Not really copying or anything like that, but as an inspiration, or you're really looking up to which architect.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting question and tricky also. Uh, I used to read a lot of books, not pictorial books. They're text-oriented books that influenced me to pick a different ideology, different vision. So I was influenced by Laurie Baker, his writings, and I have visited in fact Cosford during my college days, and later date Corbusier's work in Chandigarh, and studied in Ahmedabad. So you have a great influence of the city, the campus, and the school of thought. And I always dreamt of I designed some buildings when I was a student, and also studying there. So I want to do two, three type of projects, whatever the projects comes in my life: expose brick, expose concrete, and pillar slabs. So
Brutalism full on.
fortunately, I have happened to have a lucky clients to, so so far I could achieve those three, and I could do those projects. So the influence is there. I mean, Mr. B, architect B Doshi, are internationally, you have Urjan's Monumental, and recently there was one Shigaruban. I have attended webinar,
Yeah.
and I mean they are the great face of architecture. So you pick up some idea. When I heard Moshe Shabde's presentation, the kind of architecture he talks about, and the human scale, how even being the high-rise, super high-rise structures, how one can integrate the outdoor to indoor with the terraces and the landscape. So these are the few points where you pick up the ideas and incorporate in your design process. Not only the great architects, I influenced by my competitors. As I said, my architect friends. So I can name few, my friend Gopal or Ravi, Mr. Naveen. So we interact and we pick up ideas, we discuss and incorporate. So it's the constant reading of the books or magazines, or the interaction with your fraternity, which is very important to mold yourself with design ideas, and how you can differentiate one project to other projects. So this is a part and parcel. So that's how you pick up your projects and the ideas.
Okay. Let's move on with your presentation.
Okay, so
We'll be.
this is one project. Being an urban designer and living in India, it's very hard to get a urban design project to work on an individual basis. So I had opportunity to associate with few other firms, and this is one project we did in Amritsar. In my lifetime, I never thought I would work in that area, but because my association, I had an opportunity to work work in Amritsar, where the ideas of pedestrianization in a context of urban design, we could able to design and execute there. So this is one project as a urban design. We did the connecting the Golden Temple to the town hall complex. So wherein this 700 meter of the transit road was transformed to completely pedestrianized. This is the project stocked across the smart city projects, and this is one of the finest example.
Yeah,
So I was
this
part.
project was also one of the projects wherein it laid one of the foundations to
Many.
pedestrianization of important zones across the cities
Yeah,
to
yeah.
basically get a local or a colloquial feel of the streets, right?
I was associated with the Darasha and where we designed the infrastructure and the infrastructure design and there are multiple consultants. I was there with them like 3 years with Darasha. After my tenure got over and some other architect from Rajasthan, they came on board and they have finished with the other architectural design of the entire ambience. But the master plan and the idea was coined by my office. So that this is one of the project. And whenever I teach in different colleges about urban design, I keep showing this project to the students that the idea of the context, idea of urban design, that also can be demonstrated through these kind of projects. The other project we have designed is one film studio in Chevella for director V.V. Vinayak. He is famous in Tollywood. So we had an opportunity to design this project. Still on board. Other project is again with Annapurna Studios. In the current ANR project, we could not accommodate dubbing studio, so they came up with the dubbing studio and Foley studio. Foley studio is where the music or the audio of different objects, either the water or the spoon or cycle, so they were reproduced in the controlled atmosphere, and it is much more sensitive room than sound mix studio. And sound mix studio by technical terms NC20 to be achieved for certification, whereas this Foley room should be getting NC15. So there are very interesting technical and design challenges we are facing right now. This project is also currently on due to pandemic. It is also in a halt stage. So this is one project. Second project we are working with Mr. Nav Chaitanya.
Wow.
Other project. This is a residential township we are designing for Vedanta in Orissa. Around 400 flats in 12-acre site. Some residential apartments in Mahbubabad. This is one hospital we designed in Kurnool. It's a cancer specialty hospital. The group in Hyderabad, Omega Hospitals. So this is the project we have designed for them in Kurnool. It has got cancer treatment facility with there's a bunker at the basement of this project, and there are CT scans, brachytherapy, and operation theaters, and all those cancer specialty hospital requirements which were accommodated in this. This also got executed and inaugurated in 2017. I'm also involved in developing few master plan projects for tourism department. In Andhra Telangana, people they would relate. This is the Bongiri Fort. We have designed a master plan for tourism department here. Some of them are these are the some of the projects we call it report projects. So we design, we give details, and we put in report, and they keep it with them. So few of them will never see. They won't execute also. And this is one interesting project with Darasha. They were designing a bridge from New Chandrapur to Old Chandrapur in Maharashtra, and the bridge was designed, and the representative of this particular constituency was finance minister Maharashtra's finance minister. So he wanted to showcase this particular infrastructure project and present it well. So he asked us to design a plaza at the entrance side and the exit side. So because of the name Chandrapur, and it is famous for its thermal power
Thermal
production.
power stations and Tadoba.
Yeah, so the kind of language we picked up is related to what we see. So we have designed something like this. So they all approved, the designs were confirmed, costing were done, and our term was my scope and time period was done, and I am out, and I don't know what happened with that project. So many of the projects were like that. Other glass building which we have designed again for Mr. One client in Hyderabad. Now we are trying to explore the idea of not just glass, also add one more layer where it becomes little climate friendly, where the sun is cut off, and the ventilation, the light ventilation is more, and the heat ventilation is less. So we have tried to adopt this kind of jolly fins, where the perforated metal sheets were put in this fashion, so that it doesn't block the vision, and at the same time it cuts the sun, and give a different language to the entire building. Nowadays this is a kind of many of the second skin concept,
Yes.
most of the build forms are getting in. So we have tried this, but client seems to be not so happy, so we are revising this. We are also into design of high-rise residential buildings. So this is one of the project with associated with another firm. This is a project in Aurangabad, large office complex for district administration building, and this also unable to. I mean, it did not execute it, but our designs, everything got approved and kept in the report. Again, now coming back to your question of the mimicking the Western, and how do you adapt to the Indian this thing. So the important aspect of Indian culture, Indian climatic condition, to cut the sun and give more room for the landscape, and adapt to the natural elements like stone. So all those, either philosophy you call it, or the ideas were incorporated in this particular building's expression. So you have a huge courtyard between the two large blocks of the built office space, sky frame to accentuate and to cut the sun, the integration of the balconies and the landscape, the addition of the natural stone along with the glass. So these are the various ideas we have tried during the design processes. Very typical of architectural apartments. This is one more hospital got designed and executed in one of the places in Andhra. It's called Produturu. So this is a maternity 50-bed hospital we designed. This got executed. Interesting story is, so what you expect as a designer with the color and all. So this is a view we have given to the client. So the gray adds more, so that it is not the building is not loud, and we think of these aspects as a designer, and they wanted green in their building, so we took the green to the top, so that it doesn't impose much to the street, and it becomes a silent element at the top, and the gray color would be very soothing, because we are talking about hospital. And this is the idea floated to the client, and the client reversed what a designer wanted. So now they have more of green, and the gray has gone down. So you can expect so these kind of changes as what you think and what they execute. So this is the kind of life an architect uh, challenges he faces. And I worked for Kakinada Smart City, and this is one canal front development we have designed. So this is one of the view of it. Apart from the projects, I am also actively active in academics. So I take a lot of design juries for urban design, and I also conduct urban design workshops. So this is in Sigma, Tamil Nadu, Sigma College of Architecture, and the other one is from Ideas Nagpur. Another one is from Nehru School of Architecture, Coimbatore. So these are various colleges I get invitation for taking juries and present urban design seminars. SPA Vijayawada Master College of Architecture. So this is what I do along with the projects. This is in Geetam College, Visakhapatnam. So I was presenting the Amritsar project and projects to the students and the fraternity. Our Professor Mohan was here. He is the director of Geetams, and also we conduct the workshops and interact with the students. And I'm also active in Urban Design Institute of Urban Design India. As a Hyderabad center, we conduct various workshops and coordinated studios amongst different colleges. And these are the various activities I thought I'll share with the audience here. So this is the Institute of Urban Design India. So all the urban designers in Hyderabad, Vizag, and Vijayawada, we come together and conduct these kind of workshops. We help with different institutes with undergrad urban design elective studios, along with their faculty. And every year we conduct a city talk series. So we invite prominent architect, design, urban designer, and deliver their thoughts on urban design. So many we have invited Mr. Prasanna Desai, Arnav Das Gupta, Mr. Bimal Patel, Satyaprakash Varanasi, Professor K.T. Ravinder, Mr. Bimal Patel. So these are also the activities I was actively involved. So this is related to my architecture and the academics and other activities.
So one last question related to academics is, could you suggest us 3 to 4 books which, as a practicing architect or a learning architect or an urban designer, which are like must-read books for upcoming architects, or in fact even designers for that matter, because as a whole, largely we are the same fraternity, because they're all interlinked: fashion design, architecture, interiors, product designing, all of these. So could you just suggest us a couple of books that our upcoming architects and designers could read and get better insights?
Okay, interesting question. So that question reminds me my professor at Ahmedabad, Mr. PVK Rameshwar. He once told me that every word, every word in our architecture language has a physical manifestation. So it had a great influence on me because when you in current generation magazines or any books, they're all photographs. Everywhere there are photographs. Everywhere there are images of the existing or the completed projects. That does not give much design clues, or you will not be you will not be thinking the process of it, and you will be influenced very much by seeing an image. Okay, so here it was done like that, so I can mimic or influence on it. So more than those kind of books, you read the books which are more of text oriented, so that it triggers your mind and helps you understand, and you can abstract what does that mean, and you can make your own design vocabulary out of it. For example, if somebody says, I am looking for a building with no elevation, so what do you mean by no elevation? As a design fraternity, as an architect, elevation means the front and side and rear and all the sides. So it becomes the elevation becomes important for us. When somebody says no elevation, the language of the built form completely changes. How? Maybe it can become a cylinder. Cylinder means what? So what is the elevation? Every side is elevation. So
Yes.
that is how you interpret, and that is how you come up with your design ideas. So this is one example I would quote. So maybe you read a book which it triggers, stimulates your design process ideas. Maybe that would help you as a to evolve as a designer.
The name of one book that actually comes to my mind is, most of Jane Jacobs' books. Uh, for architecture, it is Christopher Alexander.
Yeah.
But sir, we would like to have a couple of your insights. Like, for foundation, like for the basis of foundation, what would you suggest our upcoming architects to basically read? As you very rightly said, rather than going across books that give you more of visual insights, it is much important to read. So we would like to hear it from your mouth, sir. I mean, what really influenced you, and what would you suggest students to, why they should develop this habit of reading?
Yeah, even I'm also a similar kind of an architect before joining my master's in Ahmedabad. So I was very influenced with the visual impression. When I joined Ahmedabad with and the culture and the design process, what we had gone through. So I used to utilize a lot of time in library and read a lot of books, literature as mentioned. So there are a lot of books. At the moment, I am unable to recollect, but books like the interesting books like Form Follows Finance.
Yeah.
So that and City Structure. So these are the books where, or even Kevin Lynch book. So they ignite your thought process and make your own version or your interpretation of what you want to become. So I think I those are the moments I can recollect, and I can say those few books.
Let's move on to your hobbies, sir. I mean, we're really looking
Yeah,
forward to that bit,
yeah, so
the most
so art
interesting
of
bit.
the art of architecture is over now. uh, so now Umesh asked me, how can you do so many other things? Then I said, so so when there is a constraint, you use it for your advantage. And so I'm going to narrate. So first thing is like, I'll start with swimming. So what happened when I was born in a small village where we have lakes and ponds around in our town, in our village. So my parents and my sister, they were all good swimmers. And unfortunately, what happened, my grandfather told my mother that this fellow has a problem with water. So until the age of maybe 18 or 20. So don't let this fellow to get into step into water. So it will be a problem. So all my childhood watching them swimming, and I was sitting on the, the banks of the ponds or lakes. So that's how I grew up, and then suddenly at the age of 35 in 2013 or so, I had an opportunity with Gachibowli swimming Gachibowli Stadium, where they have got a swimming international facility swimming pool is available. So then immediately I made up my mind. So let us uh, uh, use this opportunity and the childhood dream of being a swimmer. So I joined in 2013. 7 years back, I had practiced. Since then, I started learning swimming, and I want to add more story. When I started swimming, I used to watch YouTube, Ian Thorpe or Phelps videos, and go and practice in the pool. So all my friends used to laugh at me, uh, watching YouTube and how are you practicing? And it's all in the mind, So it's a mind game. Swimming is, I always tell in my whoever asks, it's a mind game. How the attitude and towards your liking towards it. So I used to see some kind of techniques and I try to imitate and understand how my body and how my this thing can accommodate at the age. So fortunately, I think within 6 8 months, I could able to learn all four styles, and with good support from the coaches in the Gachibowli Stadium. Then in 2015 onwards, we had Telangana State Master Swimming Championship. So, wherein from the age of 25 to 90 or 80, who were possible swimmer. So they conduct annual competitions between these age groups. So I was 35-40 in age category. I have participated and I could able to get few, in 100-meter backstroke, 100-meter freestyle, 50-meter butterfly. So these are the various events I have able to the this thing, and you make new friends, non-architect friends. For example, here Mr. Mahesh, Mr. Vishal, Mr. Ravindra. So you make more friends, and constantly at home, you somebody is there to pull you back. Why are you going? Why are you wasting? Why are you swimming? Then you take it as a challenge and you continue that hobby. You know. And this in 2017 we had few more fourth masters. So I could able to get few medals there. Then, interestingly, so a boy has a fear of water when he is a kid, and now he now once you know the swimming, then you try to explore or try to experiment with yourself. So this is one opportunity came in 2016 to participate in Sri Lanka sports aquatic sports meet where the pool water competitions was there along with open water swimming. The open water swimming is specifically in the sea. So they had 1 kilometer and 2.5 kilometers. So I have participated in 1 kilometer sea swimming, and so I could able to finish in 38 minutes in my category, and I stood 12th. And there is a trick in open water swimming, that too in a sea. The pool swimming is different, and the open water sea swimming is completely different because sea swimming, the water is not still and it is very turbulent, and the it's more very challenging. This is the most challenging context, in our language we can call. So the turbulent water you need to swim. So this is one of the most memorable moment in my life where I was like, there was no words to express my happiness while I was swimming, and it is very dangerous, adventurous. It's 1 kilometer. I'll try to explain. So from the shore, you swim 500 meters inside the sea, and you turn and come back 500 meters back to the shore. So while you are swimming towards the first end of 500 meters, you have no reference. You are completely on the water, and you are seeing only water. that phobic, the turbulence of the water, and you're drinking that salty water while you're swimming, and you never imagined yourself all your 35 years of life you will never swim, and you had a experiment, you had to experiment with yourself that you need to swim in a sea. And that moment is I mean, there's no words to express the happiness in myself. So fortunately nothing adventure happened, so I could able to swim in 38 minutes. So this is one major milestone I always remember, more than my architecture, more than my architecture life.
So
And
this would have certainly influenced uh, whatever architecture you were doing later on, because it's only after 2016 you've done like really prestigious projects. So I think that certainly made a lot of difference to your life in terms
yeah,
of taking risks, taking on adventures.
and I did not tell about this event to my mother or my family because they would say no. So somehow I managed to pull off. And this is the kind of scenario where the sea swimming happens. So this is along the proud, and we had this medal. Here at this junction, I try to show a video, maybe for the audience. Share. Very interesting video. They would like it. Can you see this video?
Yes.
Actually, the kind of 1 second. Yeah, this is how the sea swimming from the shore. The group of all age categories.
Okay.
They would venture out, and of course, there will be safety precautions by the organizers, where you have live boats, and there are some guide poles in between. So this is how you start your 1 kilometer. There are people, there are professionals who swim 5 kilometers in sea and 10 kilometers in sea. So I could able to dream 1 kilometer as of now, and maybe with let me see, in future I can do more kilometers in sea swimming. So this is the kind of the one's experience in sea swimming.
Another question that has been asked by a student is, how do you manage your profession and your hobbies, particularly swimming and table tennis?
Uh,
Don't you fall short of time, or you ensure that? Please let us know.
okay. Interesting. So yeah, I mean, the, I always my philosophy is whatever comes across to you, you embrace it and you learn, you try to do it, and making time for all these in your mind. It's all in mind game. If I have earlier I have attended one yoga program, and it's called SSY. SSY yoga. I have joined. I had a training. So there they said it's your aptitude and it's your attitude and it's your mind that determines what you want to do. If you want to do it, you will do it. That is how you need to make yourself prepared. So I want to do swimming. That's it. I I found the facility and I made my time adjustments, and I fought with a lot of people and I started swimming, and I did. And I thought I will just swim in the pool and I will, okay, that is enough. Then I had a opportunity to go Sri Lanka and attend or participate in sea swimming. I was so frightened. Then my coach, Mr. Suresh, at the bottom right side, he encouraged me a lot when I told my background. I hope you can see the screen.
Yes.
Yeah. So Mr. Suresh encouraged the coach. You can easily do it now. You're every day you are swimming 1 kilometer in the pool, 20 laps, 50-meter pool. So you can easily swim. So the words acted like a medicine, you know. So they you interact with the right people. You talk to the right person, and who can influence you, and that's how you achieve like this. Otherwise I could never imagine myself touching seawater, but I could do it. So you manage your time, you meet right people, and you make yourself your state of mind and your mind clear. If you want to do it, you can do it. That's it. That is the mantra.
Yes. Coming to the winding up
Himad,
session, there are a couple of very interesting questions that a couple of students have asked.
can I finish these things so that we can take all questions? I think we are
Yes,
running
yes,
out. Yes.
yes, 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 yes.
Other one, I had one more international. I went to Penang, Asia Pacific Masters in 2018, Penang, and again Masters level. It's like Olympics for Masters. So I have participated there. I did. I am individual medley wherein you need to swim all four styles at a time. First butterfly, then backstroke, then breaststroke, and freestyle. So all the four styles you need to do at a time, and it is one of the quite challenging and quite demanding format of swimming. And you have competitors like from Russia. They're like 6 feet, six packs, and you're with this kind. So and you make friends. This fellow is now in touch with me, and so you make a lot of friends. So international event, and this is where I have got second place in IM. So you make new friends, and you visit new places, and you during the trip of Penang, the Malaysia I visited, Singapore I visited. So you see new places, you meet new people, you make more friends, and you live in the moment. And other dream of mine was swimming in Krishna River in Andhra Pradesh. Many of them may not know. It's in the river. May know, maybe knowing. It's 1.5 kilometer width of the Krishna River at the barrage in Vijayawada. So this is one of the dream to swim in a river. So I could do it in the in 2020 February, where I did 1.5 kilometer Krishna River swimming in 32 minutes. So this is how, again, this is again a different context in our language. The water is stored in this is the barrage, and the Krishna River is stopped here. So the water is still, but the color and the way you feel the water is completely different. So then you have a different challenge in river. So yeah, fortunately I could complete this 1.5 river cross swimming, and this is how you start, and you from this bank of the river to other bank of the river, you swim 1.5 kilometers. So yeah, this is some photographs, and this is a medal and the finisher certificate, and this is about swimming, and these are some of the medals I received in different swimming events. Then, as I said, art of living means you live in the moment, and you don't know what makes you, and you know what you may or may not know sometimes what makes you joy in your life. So, such incident, one of the such incident is just logo of Roger Federer. I watch a lot of tennis, and I'm fan of Roger Federer. When I thought I'll get the logo put on my car, I'll be happy. Then when it was really done, I was such a, I mean, you are so happy, you live in the moment, and you don't know why are you so happy. It's just because of that simple act. So you do these kind of things, and you live happily in that moment. That is what I always feel, and I always carry. Other thing is like I also play table tennis. I participated in recent IAAPL. So these are some of the snapshots. And recently, I thought I'll take my daughters. I took my daughters to one of the music academy to make them learn some music instrument. Then both my daughters refused. We are not interested. Okay, fine. Then I joined the academy, and I started learning keyboard. And these are the kids, my classmates. These two and the one above. They are my classmates in my Chords Music Academy. So I've been learning since 1.5 year. And in the first annual day, I had an opportunity to perform for A.R. Rahman's song from film Roja. So this was the first annual day celebration, and I'm the still oldest kind of student in their academy. So here are all my classmates.
The learning
And
certainly does not have any age. Yes.
and we also do philanthropy work. Like one of our architect friend who passed away during the journey, and we have constituted an award on his name, GK Certificate of Merit. His name is Gopi Kiran. So we every year we give best thesis award and cash prize and a memento to the best thesis done in our undergrad college, Andhra University College of Engineering. So along with my batchmates, 1996 Andhra University, my classmates, we give the award on behalf of our friend's name. Yeah, that's it. So this is what I thought I'll share when Umesh asked me to share your journey apart from architecture and life. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for the
Thank you.
opportunity.
So, if there's this one question that a student has asked, and it's a very interesting question that we would want to ask you. That is asked by Preeti Reddy.
Mhm.
Is how can we know that we need to pursue masters in a particular subject? How to decide it?
After your undergrad, I suggest to work for a minimum of 2 years, and you look for a right firm where your interest lies on, because undergrad architecture gives you lot of avenues. You work in a lot of ideas and projects, but you want to get it specialized, then you choose a firm where you want to be into planning or landscape, or you're interested in interiors, or you're interested in urban design, or you are interested in environmental design. So based on your undergrad influence and the work experience at which you're working for 1 2 years, it will give you direction of what is your interest and what is your specialized in. And then you pursue your masters, and that gives you a greater strength when you come out of your masters and you can start off your own. So that is what I had gone through, and I advise same thing to new undergrad students.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
After my
So
graduation, I worked for 2 years. Then I realized, okay, I have more interest in the city level design, and I was interested to understand how the city structure, how the city works, more than a built form, more than an individual private residence or private project. Then I was thinking of doing urban planning or urban design. So fortunately, I could able to get in a good institute like CEPT and urban design. So I have pursued it, and the masters. in any stream is like a big canvas, so it helps you build your career either through projects or either through your contacts, and that helps you get into a different avenues if you do masters instead of stopping at undergrad.
Thank you, sir. It was extremely enriching an experience having us with you, sharing all your experiences of architecture and living with us. It was a wonderful insight that we learned from you. Thank you very much. Thank you all of you viewers for taking us through our today's journey. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I once again thank my friend architect Umesh and also DQ Lab for the opportunity.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Let's call it. Thank you.